Hello and welcome to week 2 of Bible Journeys. It was great to connect with you and to get a sense of what you're going to work on for your final project. I trust that the passage I shared with you will be helpful as you do a little bit more in-depth study around the idea and topic that you had. This week we're going to be going further into the stories of the Old Testament, particularly around the nation of Israel as they move out of Egypt and what's known as the Exodus. And as we kind of look at some of the laws that are there into the beginning of the Promised Land with Joshua. And so we'll be covering a lot of ground. You'll be doing a lot of reading in the scripture. I trust that it will not just be, an assignment, but there will be opportunities for the Spirit to speak to you, to challenge your heart, and to also give you some things to think about and to ponder as you read along the way. So that'll be what we're talking about on Thursday night as well, when we meet together to have our discussion. So be reading, be thinking about these texts and what kind of jumps out at you. What sort of questions do you have as you read? And in the midst of this, just be thinking too about this whole idea, this whole metaphor of wilderness. I'm not saying that what happened was a metaphor. They definitely went through the wilderness, but there's more to it than that, right? There's this story of a group of people traveling in the wilderness where God is providing in very unique ways, but it's also a very difficult time, and it's a very long time. And think about our own lives in the wilderness. And so I want you to be thinking around those ideas as we get together. We'll be able to talk about that. This week, the assignment, you'll be continuing to focus on that passage that I sent you. And so I want you to think a little bit broader about the context. I want you to think a little bit more about the purpose, the focus of the text, the genre. Where does it fit within the wider context? The assignment you'll be working on, the brief assignment, will sort of dive in a little bit more into that text. And if you look ahead, you'll see that each week we get to know more and more and more about that text, and we'll be looking at things in the future. So welcome your comments and your questions. I look forward to continuing to interact with you, and I just appreciate so much your interaction last week. So blessings on this week as you read the scriptures. May they come alive.